This is Dominic from SA Capital, and today I'm going to be doing a technical analysis overview on Theta Fuel. So I'm sure, as many of you guys know, there's been a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt throughout the crypto space the last few weeks. Bitcoin dropped from its all-time high, 65,000, nearly 56% to 30,000, and we have been hovering around 30 to 40,000 for almost a month now. Bitcoin had a nice drop yesterday, but the market has rebounded. But throughout all of this, most of the altcoins have actually been following Bitcoin, dropping as well. But there has been a few that have had their own little trend set, and they've been continuing to rise. And one of those is Theta Fuel. So today I'm going to be taking a look at Theta Fuel. So basically, whenever I start off my analyses, I usually first will go to the day chart and I will draw my support and resistance zones. So that's what I'm going to do right now to start this off. I'm going to draw the important support and resistance zones, and this will give us kind of a framework for where we are and kind of how the price has respected the different areas. So we have a big support zone at 23 cents right here. The next major support zone is around 28 cents, and there was also a major support zone at about 33 cents right here. And we also have a major support zone at just about 38 cents. And there's one more large support zone at 42 cents. As we can see previously, this was the resistance on the Theta Fuel chart for the past few months. It's kind of been consolidating under this, continued to be rejected. But throughout the Bitcoin drop, Theta Fuel is actually revived very strongly, and we have seen roughly a 360% revival off its lows, which this is pretty impressive considering this is not too big of an altcoin, but it has had a very impressive year along with the other altcoins. But basically, we had this structure forming here, and Theta Fuel around a week ago broke out of this major support zone of 43 cents. And as we can see right here, it came down to confirm that with that wick right there, and that allowed price to make a new all-time high, even throughout all this blood, which is pretty impressive because, like I said, most altcoins are following Bitcoin's trend, and the fact that we have something that's continuing to make all-time highs is a good sign for the altcoins in general, and more specifically for Theta and Theta Fuel. So if we want to see a structure, the pattern that this has been creating, we would like to say that this is very close to a bullish flag pattern that we had right here. This was more of a bullish flag, and it has broken out beautifully, and ever since we broke out, the price has risen very strongly off those lows, and Theta Fuel has now hit an all-time high of nearly 67 cents, which is very, very impressive. It had almost 400% growth in the past 2 weeks. So right now, what we can expect to see is most likely we are going to see a comeback and a retest of this previous resistance zone right here. This resistance zone is not as hardy as this one right here, but this one means something. We had candle close here. We had a few rejections right here, and I expect price to come back down and confirm that 48 cent zone. So as we've looked at the price action, I want to take a look now at the different indicators. So right now we're on the day chart. We'll move over to a smaller time frame in here in just a second. But as we can see right here, the stochastic RSI has been flatlining this entire time. This means that strength is completely maxed out, and we also have seen the regular RSI break into the overbought territories, which this is when the high price movement begins and occurs, just as we saw right here. This was a large price movement, but this does not mean that Theta Fuel has nothing left, because as we can see before, we hit an RSI level of near 97, and our first run we hit an RSI level of about 91. The RSI has only hit about an 78 mark right now. So this tells us that there might be more left in the tank, but the day Stoch RSI definitely needs a correction. As we can see right here, we have been flatline before. We just had a small one now, and then we continued on. So you can't always rely just on the stochastic as a top or a bottom signal. As we can see, we could say it was going to go up here, but as we can tell, we saw about 2 months of consolidation and downtrend. So while looking at those, it is very interesting. But what I am expecting to see is a retest of this zone, and then at that point, we'll see if this resets. We'll see where the RSI is, but based on these indicators, we're looking for a short-term correction, but that does not mean that Theta Fuel is done. It might actually have more to go because we just broke an all-time high territory, which is now called price discovery. It is discovering a new price, and it is a very exciting time for the Theta holders. But before we wrap this up, I'm going to take a look at the 4-hour chart just so we can see a little bit closer view of kind of what's going on. This price action right here has created a very nice curve, which I will get out my curve tool and show you guys right here. This is a very nice price action. This is a very healthy growth, but as we can see, we are getting very close to breaking that trend, that support trend right there. So if that does occur, like I said, we will get that expected correction and retest, and then for us to kind of stabilize and then potentially make a new high. And take a look at the RSI right here. One bearish sign I do see on the 4-hour chart is we have a bearish divergence in the stochastic. That means that right here we had more strength than we do right here. This is often an indicator we're getting that little pullback, and for this thing to allow to come back down and for it to retest its lows if it's oversold and then stabilize again and then get ready for another run. And then on the RSI, we can see kind of a curve happening, but we're very close to our trend line right here. If I pull this right here, as we can see, we're getting very, very close to our trend line. So once we get a break of this and a break of this, we are looking for as of right now, it's about a 17 to potentially 25% correction. And then once that occurs, I'd say that the Theta Fuel price has a great chance to retest those highs, but it will depend on what the entire market is doing. So take a look at my Bitcoin and Ethereum analysis for kind of a bigger view of what's going on in the entire market. And once this Theta Fuel price prediction plays out, then we could get a little better understanding of what the future has for the Theta Fuel price. So that's going to be all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it all, and we'll be back at you next week with another video. Thank you.